late 2013, Ace Frehley signed with E1 Music. Under his new label, Ace has been committed to release an album every 2 years, alternating between original material and covers albums, starting with 2014's Space Invader. Ace produced the album himself, as well as handling the guitar parts, the lead vocals, and most of the bass tracks. Matt Starr was brought on for drums. The album was released on August 18, 2014. The cover was done by Ken Kelly, who had done the covers for Destroyer and Love Gun. I think it's neat. I like the style and the colors look cool. Before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe, and you can support the channel on Patreon. This was written by Ace. It was initially intended to be an instrumental track before Ace added the lyrics somewhat last minute. While I think the chorus is kind of cool, the verses are a little weak and kind of lame. And sonically, the album immediately doesn't quite have the same punch as Anomaly, which is disappointing. There's a decent groove and some fun rhythm guitar, and I do really like the solo. I dig the tempo change there. This was written by Ace and John Ostrowski. It started as an instrumental track Ostrowski gave to Ace and was the album's first single. It's fun and upbeat with a decent chorus and some fun lead playing throughout. The material on this album feels a little less heavy or maybe more loose than the stuff on Anomaly. This is written by Ace, Jen Rubin, and Sebastian Bosco. I think this has some fun verses, a little pop but very catchy. However, the chorus does nothing for me. There's a solid solo and some fun leads throughout though. This is written by Ace and Rachel Gordon. It's got a cool riff and musically is really dynamic and interesting. Really solid lyrics with a great chorus, bridge, and solo. Easily my favorite song on the album. This is written by Ace. I'm not sure what it is, but this whole thing sounds off. I really don't like the verses. The chorus is okay, but overall, I think this is a really dull song. This was written by Ace and Gordon, the latter being Ace's fiancé at the time who contributed lyrics. The chorus is okay, but overall, this song does absolutely nothing for me, and I think it's kind of corny. This is written by Ace, who apparently wrote the song on bass, which is kind of neat. Some of Ace's riffs, or his newer riffs on these newer albums, kind of start to sound the same to me and run together. This riff just sounds like Space Bear. The chorus is alright, I guess, but the verses are really dull. However, the solo is great. I love the riff that comes in during that section. Ace is having some fun with the construction of these songs. Written by Ace, this features Chris Wise on bass. The lyric "Shaken Sharpshooter" is featured in the first verse and also was the title of a song Ace submitted to Psycho Circus back in '98. That song might have been the one that became Into the Void, so this song might be unrelated and just a fun little callback to a lyrical phrase he didn't get to use back then. The riff is cool and it is a fun, catchy song. What kind of kills it for me are the lyrics. Part of the chorus is repeating "I know you want it." It's pretty common in these kind of sex songs, and in stuff like from the 70s and 80s, I can accept that it's the time, but it's 2014 and the guy singing it is an old man. It's a little yikes, and it makes the song hard to enjoy. It just kind of creeps me out. This is written by Ace and Chris Cassone. The call out to Gordon at the beginning is pretty funny in hindsight, considering the messy and weird public breakup they had. The lyrics are fun, but I do question why Ace has to be so defined by space in so much of his lyrics these days. I like the chorus and the solo is great, as is the outro. This is written by Ace. It's fine. I don't hate it, but it does nothing for me. This was written by Eddie Curtis, Ahmad Erdogan, and Steve Miller. It is a cover of the classic by the Steve Miller Band. The track was suggested to Ace by E1. The original is a great song, and I was very excited to hear Ace's take on it, but initially disappointed. I'm not sure what it was, but it took me a couple listens to warm up to it. But I do dig it. It's fun, and that chorus is just so infectious. This is written by Ace. It's kind of fun. I really like the bits of Fractured Mirror, that's dope. But this is kind of whatever for the most part. Not my favorite Ace instrumental. Space Invader peaked at number 9 on the Billboard charts, the first album by a member of Kiss to ever get that high. I really like E1 and how they handle Ace. We get a project every couple of years, and they really promote it and put it out there. Tons of promotion, variants, fun singles, exclusives. It's always exciting. Sadly, in this case, that excitement led to disappointment. I was so bummed in 2014 when I heard this for the first time. I really didn't like it at all outside of Change, and I've listened to it a few times since, including a couple more times for this review, and my opinion hasn't changed that much. I find most of the album to be pretty boring. So much of what I loved about Anomaly just isn't here. There's nothing that I think is egregiously awful, but it's aggressively mediocre, and that's a shame. I do really love Change, that's a great song. I warmed up to The Joker, and there's some other stuff I think is cool, but for the most part, I tend to avoid this album entirely. I think it's easily Ace's worst album, but that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching.